Ladies and gentle people, I want to remind you guys that I've been talking about the fourth of 5 error squares that will be coming up on August 27th. So things will be increasing in intensity and collective frustration and anger until August 27th. But so please be prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually as much as possible. And you can definitely feel like the world is falling apart at times if you want to. This video is not going to be filled with a lot of good news, just letting you know up front. So today, we've had 1,300 Americans lose their lives to the coronavirus. And we now have an additional 3,742 more people in the hospital from coronavirus at 88,000 now. And remember, the peak in, I think, January was 120,000. And so it's going to get super duper crazy, man. Our governor in Texas tested positive for the coronavirus today after having a standing room only event in Collin County last night. Larry Page of Google, founder, moved to New Zealand a few days ago. Apparently didn't bring them any good luck, because New Zealand now enters a nationwide lockdown over one coronavirus COVID case. I'm not blaming Larry. I just thought that was a very wild coincidence. And what may be good news for some people is very bad news for others. We have tropical storm depression, whatever you want to call Henry now. I don't even remember his name. This storm headed north, causing a lot of flooding problems. And we are watching Grace, who's still a tropical storm right now. So the good news for Texas and the United States is it's not going to hit us. The bad news for Mexico is it's probably going to hit y'all. I had this vast realization, not just from the models, but when we totally ripped the Band-Aid off Afghanistan and left a lot of people who helped us out to possibly, very bad negative conclusions. It appears for the dark winter, we are going into a hard America first, which means that hopefully asteroid or atmospheric defense team and Prayer Warriors, Astro Fight Club can keep this thing to just being a tropical storm. But sometimes you bite the bullet, sometimes the bullet bites you. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure this thing is definitely going to Mexico. And we will all have to pray that the atmospheric defense team can do an incredible job of keeping it to like a tropical storm. Although some models do show it getting stronger. Let's hope it stays low and this part tears it up. Is it Honduras? But, you got to watch out for these areas where it doesn't have any land interaction, how strong it will get. And then the Gulf of Mexico is like a giant storm magnifier. And I'm asking again, if you could please say prayers for Mike T. He's in the ICU now as he has COVID complications. Please say prayers for him and his family. And while you're at it, say prayers for everybody as well. Say some extra prayers tonight. Like I said, the next 9 days are going to be really, really, really rough. And it's going to kind of feel like the world is ending. And, a lot of people are getting a lot of bad news. Reed Timmer, drone footage of the destructive flash flood in Balsam Grove, North Carolina, after double-digit rainfall totals in the headwaters of the North Fork French Broad River. This is from Fred. That was the name I couldn't remember. Alabama has negative ICU beds available. That is not good news. The wildfires in Canada and the United States, and technically across the world, have been freaky and scary and very intense in 2021, and that trend continues. I guess if you want some good news, Utah was settled by refugees fleeing from religious persecution, Church of Latter-day Saints. We understand the pain caused by forced migration and appreciate the contributions of refugees in our communities. So they are offering to help and take those from Afghanistan that they can, which is cool, in my opinion. This is going to continue to bring rain and floods as it moves out. Australia and New Zealand had been doing incredibly well with the coronavirus, but the Delta variant ain't no joke. Talked to a friend and my stepbrother today. They have kids, and they can confirm that the virus is like ripping through the schools, man. It's super viral. I think one of the points is that, even when people talk about like it only kills 99, it only brings death to 1% of the people. The whole point is, if like everybody gets it at once, then that creates a giant surge on the hospitals. And so that was always one of the main goals you wanted to try to avoid, where you don't want a bunch of people to get it at once. And so now, with just we haven't handled it well. Give us a D- over the last year and a half. So the next few months are going to be pretty dang rough. Here we're looking at the Caldor fire, California, which is pretty scary. And so we're all dealing with this shit in our own crazy ways. We're all having to have our own mechanisms to deal with it. And I guess if the people want to just say, oh, it's all a hoax, that's your own way of dealing with it. But I would say, hey, no matter what, play defense, be cool, stay cool, try not to be mad at anybody. Yeah, I've been talking about the 90,000 U.S. hospitalization peak. Like 90,000 to me would equal the peak of the amount of people we're going to see dying in one day in the USA is going to be 3,000. If we get back to 120,000, that puts us back at about 4,000. And right now, we do not know when it's going to peak. My guess is hospitalizations could peak out around the 27th, which would be 10 more days, which will mean that this wave could be worse than the last one. And I'm not trying to be flippant about anything, but like everybody keeps going on and on and on about how like we totally failed in Afghanistan. And it's like, well, we're totally failing at everything. And you can't blame it on Biden, and you can't blame it on Trump. I mean, you can't. It's like collectively, we have been led down the path of divide and conquer for 20 years, and we've been taking the bait. So we're all collectively to blame for this shit show that we got happening right now. And we're going to need major miracles and divine intervention to turn it around. And I've been saying for a year and a half that I think 2022 will definitely be a better year than 2021 or 2020. But we're definitely going to have some super nasty, oh my God, I don't want to be alive moments between now and then. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Like the world could end in a week or two, I guess. Or things just could progressively get shittier forever. But if I started to believe that, then I would no longer be your planetary defense commander, and I would probably go get a job that pays well, had benefits, allow me to get a dog and a girlfriend and a backyard. Even if the peak of daily deaths was 1,300, that puts us at 168,000 dead Americans in the next, by now in the end of the year. And I definitely don't think we're at the peak. I definitely think we'll see about 2,000, 3,000, maybe even 4,000 people die in a single day. Just like last year. It's going to be freaking... Anyway. The Caldor fire, like I said, this fire was the start of the day and was just like, oh God. Yeah, the Alabama Hospital Association now says the entire state now has zero ICU beds. Current power outages for the western part of the state and North Carolina. Palm Beach County placing state of emergency hospitals are being overrun with COVID patients by Jim Williams of Hurricane City. And like I said, we're watching Tropical Storm Grace as it moves towards Mexico. Some models have it shown going into an intense hurricane, but let us hope that is not the case. And let us pray. Like I said, let's do our best over the next 10 days to try and pray more than we've ever prayed in our life. Because I truly believe that prayer helps. Because God is great, even though the world is crazy. And yeah, the next 9 days, man, I will be monitoring everything. I will be watching for any major changes. Things are weird. Will probably continue to get weirder. You've definitely got major flood risk over the next 3 days in like Chattanooga, Knoxville, and then up through here. as Fred continues to move north and east. There are quite a few places under like flood watch. There's pretty bad flooding again in Arizona today. And you got parts of Utah, Arizona, and then up in Idaho and Washington. Shout out to Oregon for no reason. And then you've got this giant shaft over here. And then you got the heat and all the wildfires up in here. These are your severe weather zones for the rest of tonight. And then in 3 days and 2 hours, you will get more danger zone up in here again as the pattern all restarts over. And then check out this giant super duper monster wave that is rolling off of Africa. So if you thought Grace could be a monster, we are definitely going to have to keep our eye on whatever this thing is. But remember, we are on the super duper highest ever Asteroid Fight Club red alert through the 27th. So please buckle up, strap in, be ready. It is going to get crazy. It is going to get wild. It is going to get weird. Remember, it is okay to cry. I say that as your Planetary Defense Commander, Star-Lord, and New Thor 7 the T. It is definitely okay to cry, man. You don't have to be strong all the time. But try not to displace aggression and blame people, and try to handle things well. Your own way without shoveling any shit on anybody else. If you can. And as I continue to give you bad news, I'm pretty sure, like, throughout, you were here for last year. And so the virus, I'm surprised, the virus surged about a week or 2 weeks sooner than I thought. So if it's doing this well now, it's definitely going to cause problems when it gets colder. But look at the size of that monster there. Jeez. Yeah, we definitely live in strange times. Floods up here, floods through here, floods around there. You got submerged vehicles, Smoky Mountain Highway. Major mass flooding today in North Carolina. Models showing, or an icon, just one model showing a Sandy-esque track into southern New England with Henry. Though, like I said, I think Atmospheric Defense Team has at least done an incredible job of protecting the United States of America since July 11th, 2019. So, we will pay attention and see what happens. 6-decade wildfire chief says he's never seen anything presenting like the current situation of the burning conditions. Major fires are now mega fires. Never seen anything like what is present. And so, if at any time over the next 10 days, I am in a really great mood, it's probably just because I'm trying to deal with all the horrible shit that's happening. And I'm just trying to celebrate the fact that I'm still alive. I'm still semi-healthy. I still have a place to live. I still have electricity. And I still have cigarettes. I'm a simple man, really. Although there's nothing I can do to force myself to be happy tonight or right now. Tim Kelly, more fun with live play-by-play. Someone may get 4+ inches of rainfall Thursday. Totally a moving target. And like I said, it's weird. The coronavirus is still going to be ripping through us and the world. And so no matter what, over the next, between now and the end of the year, we're going to lose over 100,000 people to the virus. That's a given. It could get up as high as 300,000, depending on how bad it gets. And so, as your Planetary Defense Commander, I will do my best to help guide everybody through every battle, but it is going to get rough. I don't really feel like dealing with the Sandy hookers who call everything a hoax. If you become a clone of like Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, to where like you just accuse everything of being a hoax, that's not my cup of tea, man. This is in Arizona. Yeah, and the whole calling everything a hoax, calling everything fake, it's just like weaponized nihilism. Look how good they did with the bags, though. See what you can do when the community works together? That's nasty flooding in Arizona. And it's almost like, here, it's like, please slow down, right? I mean, obviously that was for the road and not for the water. But that was a good example of knowing that things will be increasingly getting bad up until the 27th. And then it'll start building again for October 9th. It's just kind of like that. Please slow down. It's like telling the water. Doesn't really help. But, oh, jeez. You know, we got a lot of shit we got to deal with. Everybody's going through a little something right now. Everybody. So there's no use in trying to make everybody struggle harder, man. And so we get like virus peak in season, asterisk, wildfires, hurricanes, social and unrest and instability, and people just frustrated and losing their minds. And let's do our best, man. We are Asteroid Fight Club. We were made for this shit, bro. And if somehow I die in the near future, I am glad that at least the weather community has gotten so much better over the last 8 years. So many great people on the whole team. So many people on the Great Asteroid Fight Club team. So one of the reasons if I do find a reason to get in a good mood, it's because there are a lot of good people on the planet. It's just, we don't get a lot of attention or rewards. Zach Covey pointing out, well, that's not good. And yeah, it is super hot down there, man. All right. And I just want to say thank you again a million times over to Asteroid Fight Club. You guys have been utterly incredible. Allowed me to keep doing this job. And like I said, if I want to stay home locked in my apartment for the next 3 months, I can. I have a job that allows me to do that. I don't have to see people unless I need to or have to. Usually it's just buying cigarettes and food. Yeah, I only have $20 left to raise for August, but I wanted to say thank you again to Anique, Nancy, Mike, Donovan, JJ, Mist, Texas Angel, Greg, Fairy Tale Incorporated, Andrea, Barbara, Rachel, Max, KJ, Ann, Daryl, Marlita, Light Soul, Arnica, Glenda, Lauren, Alexis, Dustin, Matthew, Louisanne Bouille, Barbie, Wizard Vaz, D, Courtney, JL, Stephanie, Dusty Moon, Charles, Cephas, Pep, Nancy, and Darlene. All right, but yeah, get ready for the next 9 days to be. Could be the weirdest and worst and just most intense days we have seen in our lifetimes. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it won't be that bad, and then you can come back 10 days from now and be like, hey, Thor, you fear-mongered that shit. Everything was totally fucking fine, and nothing went wrong. Let's hope that's the case. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Peace out.